Hello, this is Magnus here, and this is it. Today I've got the Canon 5D Mark IV. I pre-ordered this item from B&H, and I received it today. They do great overnight shipping, bring it right to you, get you the product that you need. I love B&H. Okay, so now I'm going to do an unboxing of the 5D Mark IV. Then I'm going to do comparisons with the 4K footage between the 5D Mark IV and the NX1. Now for this experiment, I'm going to use the same Canon lens on both the 5D Mark IV and the NX1. That way we can compare as closely as possible when it comes to quality. And a couple of things that I really want to test is, first, Canon claimed that they use the JMPEG codec in order for you to pull 8 megapixel screenshots and save them as large photos, 8.8 megapixel photos, so that you could take whatever stills that you want. Well, I've had that ability to do it off the NX1, not off camera, but still use the footage and pull it. Actually, one of the shots that I have here shows a still frame, and I want to compare how that still frame looks from the 5D Mark IV and the NX1. Then I want to just do a quick workflow test. I want to see if those larger files that the Canon 5D Mark IV produces are more difficult to edit off of my computer, or if I need to transcode it into a different format. I would prefer to work, even though they're large, I would prefer to work off of it without transcoding, but we'll see. My processor is a 3rd generation i7 with a GTX 970 video card. So I want to see if that is enough to make it still simple to edit. Granted, file sizes are large, and I don't know if this computer will have problems stuttering or whatnot, but if you think about it, NX1 a couple years ago also had problems with Adobe, and through time it was easier to edit with this camera to the point where it became a breeze. No transcoding needed, works everything right away. So let's unbox. Now before I begin unboxing, I'll have you know that I did open this, and I just took out the camera, popped in a battery and a couple memory cards, and mounted this lens on it just to take a quick sample picture so that I can make sure that the camera works out of the box, or would I have to return it right away. Good news is it worked right away. Then I packed it up again, made it look as if I'd never took anything out. Now when it comes to the battery or any other additional components, I did not remove those from the box, and as I unbox this 5D Mark IV, it'll actually be my first time seeing most of the other items as well. It's only the camera that I unboxed. So here we go. It's like Christmas. Can't wait. Can't wait. Okay, first thing we've got here is the Canon, I guess, limited warranty with a section to fill out remarks. Interesting. And then of course, registration for the limited warranty. Standard software solution disk. Now it's funny that they give CDs when a lot of people don't have CD drives nowadays when you're working with that. They should offer some type of media that you can actually connect to USB and work right away. I would think that it's actually comparable when it comes to price, when it comes to CDs as well, because prices are dropping so quickly. Okay, EOS digital instruction manual. I imagine this would be as long as you can possibly think it would be. And what have we got here? An EOS 5D Mark IV instruction booklet that looks like it's in Spanish. I read Spanish, so I can basically say Función Wi-Fi Comunicación Inalámbrica Básica Instrucciones. It's in Spanish. Then the back is in English. I'm not going to rip out the book right here. I'll just keep it. Probably never look at that, to be totally honest. Alright, now I pull this out, and under, what do we've got here? We've got the camera body wrapped in plastic. And this I already told you I opened up before. But they put some nice bubble wrap on it, and then past the bubble wrap is, pow, here it is. The Canon 5D Mark IV. Can't wait to start testing this out and using it. Now, like I said, I did take it out before and previously, so I've got a CF card and an SD card already input into it. and I already put in a battery that I had for my Canon 6D. I knew these use the same type of battery, so I just threw it in here. So, you know, that's fully charged. I'll just actually put this down next to me because I want to make sure it's okay. And then what do I got here? Let me unwrap this. It is what it is. USB 3.0 cable. Perfect for transferring directly from the Canon 5D Mark IV into your computer. Now I'm glad that they chose USB 3.0 because the transfer speeds off of the Canon 6D, which of course is a few years old, I believe it's 3 years old at this point, still too slow. I actually bought a USB 3.0 card reader just to make it faster, but in case I don't have, or you know, enough card readers or whatnot, or I'm traveling, USB 3.0, excellent. I'll just put that down here. I'm already making a mess. Let's see what we've got. I'm like those kids in Christmas that like make a mess after they open up all their toys and then they just leave it there. Okay, the nice looking strap, EOS 5D Mark IV. The Canon charger. So it's an external charger. It does not charge off of the camera itself. You need to have actually put it in the charger and then take it with you. Luckily I have a couple of these thanks to the 6D, and I bought spares. And then the battery. Same type of battery. I heard that the original battery might work a little bit better. And of course the eye mount eyepiece that you put right there. So first things first, what I'm going to do is open this up and make sure I put the eyepiece right here on the Mark IV. I mean, yeah, the Mark IV. See? Goes on right there. Should be quick. Okay. So there it is. It's the unboxing of the 5D Mark IV. Like I said, I already have a memory card, a couple memory cards. I've got the battery that's pretty much fully charged in it. And let's start with our first test. I'm going to run the tests here, just record some quick footage here. I've got some good lights. Record 5D and NX1 as I move at it, you know, similar shutter speed, similar ISO settings, and then see what the workflow looks like. Should be okay. Okay, let's get started. First, I'm going to record off of the NX1. Now this screenshot that I've got in my computer right here, which I'll show you. This screenshot right here, I took from a still, I took a still frame from the NX1 recording outside and was able to pull in a still frame 8.8 megapixel off of Cinema 4K settings, which is about 17 by 9, I believe. And then I could pretty much see that it is a full 8 megapixel screenshot, and the detail is pretty good. The colors are well saturated, and I wouldn't feel bad about using this as a still frame to print out a photo if I took a picture of someone. So again, this is a still frame off of the NX1, not the 5D Mark IV. And now I'm going to do a similar test because right now I want to have the same lighting conditions, similar settings in order to get what I need. So we're going to start off with pull the memory card out. Got a 256 gig card there that I put in, and I'm going to put it in the NX1. Now let me share with you the settings. First of all, I'm using this Canon 24-70 2.8L lens, okay, USM2. I'm going to hold it at pretty much 24 millimeters. Now this is a cropped APS-C sensor, so it's cropped, so it's going to be equivalent to about 36 millimeters. Going to adjust shutter speed to 1/400th. I'm going to put it on Cinema 4K. And the reason that I'm doing a high shutter speed is that I can get action going. You know, I can move and basically capture fast images without an issue, okay? Fast moving images. Now what I'm going to do is pretty much record my hand, okay? So now I've got ISO at 1600, well lit. I'm just going to record my hand. Recording. Now I'm recording off of this as I hold the 5D Mark IV because I want to take a still image of this. So in 3, 2, 1, boom. Alright, I'm done. Now that I've got that footage, now I'm going to try my first attempt at using this camera and recording 4K footage. I'm going to take out the memory card that I have on the NX1 and I'm going to put it into the Canon. Now, Canon says that their 4K footage records at 500 megabits per second. Now this card right here is designed to record, its peak speed is 90 megabytes per second. So theoretically, it's a little bit over 700 megabits per second. It's a UHS-1 SD card. So will it work? I don't know. I have a feeling that it's not going to work, but I'm about to find out. So now let me mount the lens from the Samsung to the NX1. See what I got going on here. By the way, I'm as giddy as I can possibly be with like kind of this type of stuff. It drives me bonkers. So anyway, putting the same exact lens. Now because 4K is cropped 1.74 times on this, I imagine that it's going to be at around slightly over 40 or maybe like 46 millimeters equivalent. I could be wrong, so correct me if I'm wrong. Alright, this is my first time. I'm going to switch to video mode, and off of video mode it immediately does live view. Now this also has auto focusing during live view, which is great. I'm looking through the settings. I'm looking for movie recording quality. I think I found it. Now movie recording quality right now is at full HD 30 frames per second. I'm going to switch the movie recording size to 4K 24 frames per second. The reason I'm going to switch to 24 is because that's how I recorded off the NX1. Now this can go up to 29 frames per second, which the NX1 can't on Cinema 4K. But on 4K UHD, it does do up to 30 frames per second. Now this does not have regular UHD. This only has Cinema 4K. So I'm going to compare apples to apples, but that's one downside. This does not have regular 4K, while the NX1 has both. Now I'm ready to record. Autofocus is on. And let's see if I get anything here. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Recording in 4K off of the Canon 5D Mark IV. Now I'm looking at the Samsung NX1. Now it seems that I'm a little bit more zoomed in off of this footage. A little bit more zoomed in, but that's okay. So I'm going to pull a still frame off of this and then go from there. Alright? And I've recorded. It looks like it worked off of this card. It recorded 4K. Let's go over to actually looking at the files and seeing how it came out. First I'll play the NX1 file. You'll see how it plays off my computer. Then I'll look to play off the Canon 5D Mark IV and see how that plays off my computer. This is the Samsung NX1 footage in 4K. I'm playing it off the 1080p monitor right now. Basically, I'm gonna grab a still frame from here. And now I've got a still frame of my 4K footage. Now I need to look at what the Canon did. Well, what do you know? I might not have saved the footage on this memory card. Perhaps that's why it didn't work. I think I had it on the CF card. It's a .mov file. And first thing that you can see is that the footage plays real slow because it's a moving JPEG. So this is going to be an issue when it comes to actually playing files right off the card. It's not going to do it easily. And it's frozen. I'm going to take a screenshot of this and see what that looks like. Both had ISO of 1600 and both using the same exact lens. I'm going to look at the details of this, of the rotating section of each camera. EOS 5D. Now they both have black. Both at ISO 1600. And I'm kind of shocked. Granted, this one was a little bit better lit on this side than this one, but this is the 5D Mark IV. Seems that there's a lot of grain in this still image, as opposed to the NX1, which even on the darker side, the less lit side, it's not grainy at all. I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest. I'm actually shocked because I thought that the 5D Mark IV would outperform in still image. Okay, the next thing I want to do is see video workflow. First, let's look at the file sizes that I have to work with. I'm going to go to the NX1 footage and pull out the NX1 file and put it in my exported folders. USB 3.0, the file itself, actually it was 16 seconds. For 16 seconds, it was about 100 megabytes, 4K footage, no issues, no problems. Now let's look at the Canon. Now this is 35 seconds of footage, and it's almost 2 gigabytes large. A lot bigger. Now, I have to come clean with one thing. As time progresses, storage space is going to get cheaper, so having larger file sizes and better computers is not going to matter as much anymore because we're going to have more powerful computers. I mean, if you think about this, 10 years ago, file sizes, even 100 megabytes large for certain videos was pretty big. And now we're dealing with gigabytes. 35 seconds worth of footage, 2.12 gigabytes. But what matters to me is quality. Quality so far from the still frame, ugh. But let's see what happens with workflow. Let's focus on workflow, see what we get. I'm going to open up Adobe Premiere. I'm going to pull in the NX1 footage and then see how long that basically takes me and if it's easy to scrub through. I'm going to open up a preset test folder that I had here. I'm going to take out this footage, which was where I was experimenting, and throw in the NX1 footage. NX1 footage loaded right away. Granted, the preset settings in this folder were already done. So, boom, loaded up right away. It's here. Let's see if I can scrub through it. I scrubbed through it pretty quickly. It's got sound. It's a little jittery at times, but it's with preparing the footage, and it's okay. Okay? And I guess I could cut, edit, do whatever I gotta do. Now let's import the footage from the 5D Mark IV. There was no problem importing it, such as codec issues or anything. Not an issue at all. I'm going to put it on the timeline. Clip does not match your settings, change settings, yes. I don't mind doing that. Now here's a timeline of the Canon 5D Mark IV, and I'm a bit surprised. From a workflow perspective, right off the files, right into the computer, it worked just fine. Plays fine. I can cut it, I can move it around. No real slowdown. Let's see if I can add a quick effect to it. Throw that in here. Works just fine. From a workflow perspective, I'm shocked. Okay, so in conclusion, here's what I've got to say. The 5D Mark IV, I have not had a chance to test fully yet. These are only quick tests that you and I are discovering right now. Initial first impressions after turning it on, the interface with the touchscreen actually does help a lot. It's pretty easy, not as easy as the Samsung menus, but still pretty easy. Seems to be very customizable, like that. When it comes to 4K footage quality and ISO performance, I was surprised in that one test. I haven't tested everything, but it's, again, I just got the camera. This is my first time using it. I'm sharing that with you guys. First time testing it, and seeing the ISO performance, and pulling out an image, the NX1 actually did a better job in this one test. Less noise, more clarity, fine. I expected the Canon to win, and I'm sure the Canon would win in still images. I have not tested it for that yet. I'm just going through video features. When it comes to workflow, the file sizes are large to work with. If you can actually get cards that are that big, you'll have a limited amount of space to work with 4K footage. However, editing with it right off the files, I had no issues on my computer. Again, 3rd generation i7 processor and GTX 970. So my computer's pretty beefy and it should be able to handle most things that you throw at it. So that's it. That's my first test and initial thoughts of the 5D Mark IV. If you have any comments or concerns, let me know about it in the comments below. I'll try to answer your questions as I get them. You know, if you like the video, share a like, subscribe, do whatever, you know? And as for the closing comments, as usual, you can make my day if you subscribe today. This is Magnus, and I'm out. Can't wait to play with this thing. See you later.